Hey guys, so have you ever wondered about you're working towards something that is so important to you and you keep going at it over and over and over again and you feel like it's going nowhere? I think this is for a lot of people, and this is a lot for me too, that I have experienced throughout life where I go and imagine things in my head all around the clock. Like I said, at the very beginning, I've always been like one of those dreamer type of people, and I literally stare off into space all the time. And I accidentally do it actually when people will talk to me. Like, for an example, when they'll say something and it'll remind me of something. So I start like accidentally like wander off like my brain, and I start like dreaming of things which I don't mean to. And then a lot of the time when I eat, like if I have lots of time for morning time, this is actually my favorite time, is morning time and nighttime, where in the morning I'm usually have to like rush to work kind of deal. I have to wake up super early for it. But if I don't have to, I usually go and just take my time for breakfast, and I'll literally stare off into space and start like dreaming of myself doing all these different things. And just, I don't know, a lot of things I contemplated like earlier that night, I'll go and absorb it, and then I'll like digest it in the morning time a lot of the time. And play things out in your mind. I think a lot of people do that. They play things in their mind all the time, and then you get worked up. You get really worked up on whatever idea that is. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to go for it, And that's kind of me. Like, I will go for something. Like, once I made up my mind, I make up my mind and I go for it. And then in the momentum, you go at it, and things are not going up as you thought in your mind. This has happened a lot in my mind. I will play it out, and I will go and I guess it'll be like playing out faster in my mind than what's out there a lot of the time. But usually though, whatever plays out in my mind, it actually does happen. It's just usually it's not in the time frame that I thought, like thinking, oh, right now kind of deal. But as you get older, you start to realize that everything is happening all at once. And what's determining of what is gonna happen forward is what's happening right this instant, which took me a lot to learn in life about this, and how you are being right this instant. So whatever emotion that you're feeling at this very moment is what's going to be in the future, the next 5 years, 10 years or so, unless that now changes kind of deal. And so basically, if you want something to happen, forward, then you have to think of what are you right now? What are you being right now? Emotion-wise, just how you present yourself, how you think, just the state you are in, stuff like that. Being, and then you doing. So what actions correlate with that being? And then it equals out having, of whatever it is that you want. And I think that a lot of people, they get to that point, being, and then they're doing, and then they're like, where's the having kind of deal. And I think this is so many people out there. And there's a lot of things that come to play, right? And you just have to remind yourself that everything is going to work out. The timing is supposed to be how it's supposed to be. So just remind yourself that it's coming. It is coming. Whatever it is that you are, what equals out having. You're right now, what is it that you're having? And to be honest, I'm going to go and tell you guys an example of this. And I think it will maybe help you guys understand a little bit more about it. So I went through a lot about just trying to get to where I am right now, like being calm, slowing my heart rate before I do a video. Yeah, because I think from my previous videos on TikTok, you could tell my heart rate was out of the roof, and I was like, not fully there. And now I can think a little bit more, and I'm a little more on the calm side, and I am ready to process things, and I'm ready to receive everything that this world has to offer me. But it has to be when your heart rate is down and your mind is more open to receiving things. And when your heart rate is up, and when your heart rate is up, like, you just know. Like, if you don't even know, you can just like put your hand here and you can count how fast is your heart going just by sitting. I think the best thing to do is when you're sitting down, and normally when you're supposed to be calm in general, you just can see if it's going fast. If it's going fast and you're having a hard time breathing, then that tells you, okay, need to slow it down kind of deal. That's what I've learned for me, because honestly, I did not know that feeling of what is relaxation, because I was never taught that. I was never taught. Well, I think so. Actually, yes, I was taught it. In 9th grade, there was a teacher that actually did teach me it for a month or so, and then I think she got fired or something because she did a class when she wasn't supposed to do a class or something. She was supposed to be doing something else, but instead she was pooling students that were not participating. So in 9th grade, I was kind of like a rebel. So I wouldn't participate in, I was in team sports. I didn't really know what team sports was exactly. And it was all male and they didn't want me. So I was on the bleachers and I would like wander around, and I would, the PE class was right next to us, and so I would hang out with the PE students, and they would not, at least the people that I was hanging out with, they would not participate. So we would be on the bleachers and we would just talk kind of deal. And then this woman approached us and did a class with us about just like, calming your heart rate and stuff like that. And that really helped. But apparently I seemed to forget about that after that. And I just went about my life back to stressful mode and anxiety ridden and not thinking clearly. So now, as you get older, a lot of life events will happen to go and remind you, oh, you need to be doing that. If you want to go and, if you envision something in your mind and you're having this, well, you have to be at this state being and then follow along with doing that action. So what I'm saying is being plus doing equals having, guys. So that is a lot that I've had to experience to get here. And so you just have to remind yourself that to have that end result that you're thinking of, it's going to take lots and lots of time. And just remind yourself that anything that you feel wrong in your mind, just know that it's meant to happen, because then it's gonna go and lead you to remind you of that being of where you need to be, that follows along with action, and it'll keep reversing back over and over, because that's kind of what happened to me all the freaking time, and I couldn't seem to get it. I couldn't seem to get it, and I would be up all night like trying to make sense of things. And then this is what I have learned, guys, like my years on this earth, and took a lot of heartache and a lot of thinking and anxiety to get to this point. And whatever that is, that having that you want, I think that a lot of people, they think about that having at the end, but they don't think of what the being and what the doing is. And I mean, I get it. I totally understand that, it can be difficult to remember that. And you're thinking about that having, and you're like, well, where is it? Well, guys, you have to think of it this way. When it comes to having, and you just go and got it right now, and everything that you thought of having right this instant, it would be so boring. Like, it would be really, really boring to go and be just having that immediately, like, okay, so for I'll say for me, okay, so I've been wanting a house so badly. Like, if you met me in person, I used to talk about it 24/7, guys. And I used to get very angry about how everything is, like economy and just how things are. And I just gripe about it all the freaking time. And I wasn't seeing anything else. And I was like, I wasn't like blaming the economy, but I was annoyed, I guess, and frustrated about like the system in general. And so I would just think about having that house. Now, let's say like I was given that house right this instant, and I got it, and be like, okay, great. Like, but when you just are given that immediately, then you kind of get bored. You're like, oh, okay, I have it. Like, you want to have that feeling of several experiences, then you get that. So for me, I'm going to tell you guys, I've been talking about like having a house like years ago. So I went through this whole thing of different apartments. Oh my goodness, one thing after another. So, when I first moved out, I knew, that wasn't going to happen. But I ended up moving to a tiny home community. So it was kind of like a house. It was a house, but it wasn't exactly what I thought in my mind of having. Like, I thought it was going to be like, bigger, I guess. But I had a really good experience with this tiny home. I honestly would not mind going back. Loved it. And then I moved to another apartment. It was like way far away. It was in Midland. And it was actually a really nice place from the outside. And then when you moved in the inside, there was a lot of things that happened. Like, I literally did not, like, the shower was not working. Yeah, the shower wasn't even working at all for a month. And I was so stressed out and mad over it. Oh my goodness. Like, that was the only thing I could think about. And I would tell every single person that met me about it. And I probably sounded so annoying. Like, when I think about, like, how I behaved back then, oh my God, I sounded probably very obnoxious. But people would listen to me and would be nice to me and all that. But it was just, yeah, it was just a lot. I even, like, had this random stranger, this guy, was like, you can use my shower. Like, okay, so I told the apartment complex, I was like, guys, I need a shower, like, right now. Like, something is going to happen, okay? So you guys got to figure it out. And I was saying this in this very angry way, like, and I, when I'm angry, I don't think people want to deal with me. So they were like, I think they were like running around frantically trying to figure out what to do because they were dealing with this really angry person. And they were like, well, you can go to the, what was it? It was like a showroom area. And they were like, just go over there and take a shower. I was like, okay, that's fine. So they ended up giving me the wrong number. And so I went to the number, and I thought it was that place. And I kind of just walked in because they said it was unlocked. So I just walked in, and there was stuff in there. And I was like looking around, like, so confused. Why the heck is there stuff? Because it was like a showroom for people to see the apartments. And then I realized, oh my God, like, this is someone's apartment I just walked into. And so I ran out, and I think I slammed the door by accident. And I tended to, like, slam doors by accident because I forget that you have to, like, hold the handle, and then, lightly, push it. Then you just letting it go, and then you walk off and it slams. So this old man ran out, and he was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, there, I was told there was a shower here, and I didn't know this was your apartment. And he was like, you can use my shower. And I was like, okay, I'm good, guys. I'm good. Like, no, okay. I thought that was really funny. But, and then I saw the manager of the apartment. He was running up, and I was like, I thought you said this was the apartment. He's like, no, this one. I was like, okay. So I went there, and yeah, it turned out good. So I ended up getting my shower, so that was good. But anyway, so I went to that apartment, and it was good. I gotta say, their pool was definitely a luxurious pool. It was like one of those resort pools. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really awesome. I love that. I just remember, like, there were about 4 or 5 Saturdays where I met like a group of girls, and I remember I was trying to make new friends. I was really putting in the effort, and I was talking to all the people in the pool, and it really felt like I was in one of those really I don't know, like, in the movies. It felt like I was in the movie of this luxurious place, and there was this huge pool party, and everyone is like, you are the star of the show kind of feeling. Like, I just remember that feeling in my mind, and we were having, like, organic strawberries and these buckets. It was these buckets. Well, at the time, my friend, not friends anymore, she had this bucket that she made of God knows what. It was so awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah, man, that was so cool. It was like one of those like pails that like kids have when they make sandcastles at a beach, and I was like, oh yeah, this is so cool. But honestly, it just felt like I was in a movie at that time. Anyways, and then I went, I went there out, and then, a lot of things happened there, like a lot. And, as I realized back then, I was so reactive to everything around me. Like, I was mad. I like, all I just remember was me being mad at everything. Like, every little thing, I just wanted to punch someone in the face, like, constantly. Even though I didn't, but, like, that's literally what I felt. And so I got so fed up at one point. I was like, I'm gone. No, I'm not even trying to make it into a new town. Even though I really think I could have made it into a new town, because when I left, I got these messages of people missing me. And I was like, you guys barely met me and don't even know me. And I still get messages like to this day, and it's years later. I was only there for 5 months, telling me that I missed. I'm like, really? Like, I have this idea in my head, like, people forget about me all the freaking time. Like, who cares? What? Like, whatever. But yeah, I was like actually really surprised about that. Yeah, anyway, so then I drove off in this angry state. I just remember this. And, yeah, I mean, I was trying my best to make the best out of the situation. Before I left, I didn't want to look back at that memory in an angry way. And so I remember that last day in that town, I went to our favorite places. So I was like, hey, this last day, we're going to do all the favorite places that we have loved, that we found in, the last 5 months, and then we're gonna leave. So I did make it a really good experience that last day, so I wouldn't look back at it in this angry tone about whatever. But yeah, there were good memories, but a lot of it was me being reactive and being stupid a lot of the time. But then I went and came back here, and I was living at a place I did not want to be. I was really still in my reactive mode, really angry, and trying to figure out things kind of deal. And then I think things start to slow down, and then that's when things slow down, I'll think, oh, where's the chaos now? Because I've always lived a very chaotic life. Not like I ensue chaos, but meaning I don't know, I didn't grow up with very calm energy. And so when calm energy rolls in and my life is so easy, I'm like, where's the chaos? And now I've learned, don't be doing that stuff, because when I did do that, oh my gosh, chaos happened like nobody's business. Because that's when my car broke down. I got scammed big time. The dude almost killed me. And then switching from job to job, and just a lot of things, reactiveness happening and anger happening. It definitely was chaos at that moment. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm ready. I'm ready to, calm it down, and, ready to have a more relaxing time here. So then we moved out, and we're in this apartment where I'm at. And I just, here it was going good. It was smooth. And then my stupid self was like, oh, it's so calm. Where's the chaos? Like, I don't even know why I did that. And so I'm not even kidding. Like, probably a month later, it happened. Someone came into my life, that homeless person I talked about, that really like hurt me at the time. Now I'm just kind of over it. But man, that was chaos. Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, So once that, was removed, I was like, oh yay, like I'm ready. I am ready to receive and ready to, have, that relaxing life, that calming life, and to, have all those things and actually enjoy it, not be having, because I always thought I'd be in very luxurious places, I guess, apartments, and I did in a way. So if I just had that house right away, I think, then I wouldn't have experienced the, really nice places that I've been at. Like, so it was supposed to be, in a way where it's, I experienced that, and then later on have that house that I envision in my mind. But when you think about having, you think of that end result, and that is it. And you think that there's other things deep in your mind. You don't really like think about of having, and experiencing, and it all happens, but you don't realize it until you go and reflect back to it. So I've always thought that I'd be in a tiny home, like, for some reason. So if I had that house right away, the one I envisioned, that in result I would never have been in that tiny home. Or, if we didn't move, I wouldn't have been in that luxurious apartment, and, that pool, thing that I look back on. And yeah, a lot of things happened there, but I'm grateful for it. And then I moved here, and, I there were issues, but it's okay. And, I'm very happy I'm not so reactive anymore about, when I saw those scratches on my car. Like, dude, I got dagger marks all over my car because these teenagers were having the time of their life. And, back then, oh man, I would have been, wanted to go after those kids. But now I'm just like, whatever. Okay, I just got scratches. It is what it is. At least I didn't go for the tires. And yeah, it's all good. It's working, I guess. And just learned that, it's time to leave where I'm at, and I'll be in another place. Though this other place that it's actually been a big in the back of my mind, and it actually has that closet that I want really badly, in the kitchen that I really want badly. And then it's like, it's cozy and luxurious at the same time, this place. And that's kind of what I've always envisioned. And so I'm going to be there. And so it's like everything is like a stepping stone till you get that end result that you want. So in my case, a house, I guess. For you, it could be a lot of other things. So you have to think of it that way, guys. Like, everything is meant to happen, the timing of things, and all those other things that deep in your mind that probably are not in the forefront of your mind of what you desire are happening right now. You don't even know it, guys. Like, such as me going to all these different places and to experience all these things that I thought that I've always, gonna experience, but I kept always thinking about this half of this house, like this end result. And I back then I was, very angry. Like, I was like, where the heck is my house? Kind of deal over and over again. Like, I would be thinking that in my mind constantly. I'm like, and as I got older, I realized I really don't need that house. Like, it's nice. It'd be nice, have the French doors open and there's that porch kind of thing. Like, that's kind of what I envision. I see the sunrise and it's a balcony kind of deal and it has an upstairs. Like, that's kind of what I envision in my mind. And, you... I don't know why, but I'm so, like, very fantasy based in my head. And then I get in a carriage, one of those white carriages, kind of like Cinderella's carriage. And I have, I think, is it Pegasus? I think unicorns that have wings, I think it's a Pegasus. I'm not really sure, but I think so. And then I go right off into... the sunset kind of deal. That's kind of what I envision in my mind a lot of the time about that half kind of deal of, at the end result. And if I went and have that immediately and didn't experience all the other things, I missed out on so much. And I think you would get bored. Everyone would be bored for having that end result right this freaking instant. You're missing out all the other desires that you want, and you deep down that's not even forefront of your mind. Like, such as, like, for me, that place, that was not at the front. It was in the back of my mind, but now it's in the forefront, and I'm like, oh, I realize that's kind of what I've desired, and I'm kind of happy that I would have that before my house, the end result of the house that I really, really want. Like, I love the idea of having a house that kind of is like Disney looking house vibes. Ooh, Disney castle vibes. Or like Disney cottage. Either way, I'd be happy with a cottage or a castle vibe place kind of deal. It'd be just, yeah, either way. I like both. Or maybe both. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Actually, I haven't thought about that. That'd be really cool. And that way one is vacation and one is for working wise, because I plan what I was thinking, once I, have that end result, then I can go and do all the other plans that I've thought of in my head, whatever, entrepreneur things. And so one place will be for that. I don't know which one, but I know that timing will tell me, and it will all work out, and everything is meant to happen. And the timing of things is, it's not gonna be right this freaking instant, because it's so boring. Like, okay, right now, guys, if your end result is, I don't know, to have a certain body, because I think this is like a lot of people they want this like certain body and they have it. Okay, so let's say you have it right this instant, this body, because usually it takes time for whatever body that you're trying to go for. It's going to take time. And if you have it right this instant, like, how boring is that? Like, you didn't get to go and experience running on the beach in the sunset, right? And you, like, because I always thought that'd be so cool to run around on the beach, to exercise and all that when the sunrise happens. You didn't get to experience that, that feeling of having, it gradual to get to that certain body that you want. Because if you have it right now, then you lost all that motivation to go and run on the beach when the sunrise happens, for an example. And you didn't get to experience to go and work out with your best friend or something. And because at one point I was doing that because I was having that motivation to go, and then we're not best friends anymore, but we were, and we would go to her sister's gym and work out, and then right after we would go and get Smoothie King. And I don't know how I did this, but I ran through, I think it was like $100 worth of Smoothie King. I ran through that like so quickly. Oh my goodness. But I just remember how amazing experience that was and how awesome that was. And, if I had that exact body that I wanted right this instant, I would not have that motivation to go and work out with my friend and get Smoothie King, that experience. You know what I mean? So you have to think of it that way, guys. When it comes to having that end result, if you have it right now, it's so freaking boring, and you missed out all the other experiences and desires that you want, but in the deep of your mind, and you haven't addressed it, and or you just don't know it, but it's there somehow, because you thought of it as a kid. A lot of the things I've dreamt of, because that's kind of what I did a lot. I mean, I did it way more as a kid, and I was yelled at like nobody's business about daydreaming around the clock. And I used to get mad at myself all the time for it. And I thought there was something wrong with me, why I would do this. And, it would propel me to feel that motivation to move forward. Especially when something feels so freaking painful and your mind cannot comprehend it, you start daydreaming. At least from my experience, that is what I would do as a mechanism to get myself through something. So we daydream. As little kids, and then as we become adults, those daydreams come into reality, guys, over time period. But it's not going to be exactly the way you daydream, but it's going to happen before you know it, and you're not even realizing it until you stop and realize what is going on, until you go and slow down your heart rate, and you slow down and you look around you of what is happening right now. Okay? So I hope that this helps you guys. And remember, guys, to help you get that end result you have to be plus doing. And just know that the timing is it's supposed to happen in that specific time, and everything that is around you, like, behind the scenes, it's all working towards you. It's all there for you, helping you to get there. And to remind yourself that it's not just to go and just have it right now. It's to experience all of those things that you dreamt of. You know, all those years when you were a child, you know? And if you are a child, you know, it's happening right now. Those dreams, but you don't know it, you know? You just don't know it. You have to stop and think to yourself and realize what is going around you.